I love to travel, but it's also the most difficult thing in the world sometimes. It's like, why am I even here?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Vigo, an 18-year-old adventurer. In this episode, while traveling through the French countryside, I started experiencing travel burnout for the first time in my life. A few days ago, I flew to Barcelona, Spain. The only thing I'd planned was a return flight from Naples, Italy 2 weeks later, and an interrail ticket giving me access to free train travel in the region for those 2 weeks. I travel to a new place almost every night, but I only plan where I'm going on the day itself. Over the past few days, I've experienced Barcelona, then I went to a coastal town on the border between Spain and France, and last night I made it to Carcassonne, a city in the south of France famous around the world for its medieval citadel. This morning I'll be exploring a bit more of the castle, but since it's way colder here in Carcassonne, the plan for today is to head back to the Mediterranean coast for warmer temperatures. But I would also end up dealing with travel burnout and having a 3-hour long conversation with an illegal immigrant. This is episode 2. Sit back and enjoy.
Morning. I am running to watch the sunrise at the castle. I think that's gonna be amazing. It's overcast, so I don't know if you'll be able to see the sunrise, but I'm hoping to. It's only 3 degrees right now. Well, the sun should set at exactly 8:07 and it's 8:07 right now. I don't see any sun, but yeah. But I do see this wonderful castle. Well, it's just way too overcast right now, but it's still such a nice view. Yeah, but I'll head down again. Oh, I forgot to tell you, but last night someone else was sleeping in the room too. So we were 3 guys. He was from France and had some recommendations for my trip, so I might have some ideas now for where I'm going today and over the next few days.
But that would quickly come back to haunt me, taking his advice, and you'll see in just a bit.
Wow, I didn't even go here yesterday because I thought you couldn't, but this is amazing.
Just as I was crossing this bridge and looking at these birds, the French army suddenly came running by.
I was just walking over the bridge and then suddenly a lot of, I guess, military men just came running, and I don't know, I thought it looked a bit funny. But that got me thinking about how motivating it must be to live in a town like this. Like, how can you not be motivated when you literally live in a city like this and get to wake up every morning looking at that castle and stuff like that? But the sad thing is that I guess you probably get used to living in a place like this pretty quickly. I guess it's rush hour. Alright, it was so cold outside. What a mess I've made, but I'll be packing up now and head to the coast. Alright, I think I'm ready to leave. There's a train in like 20 minutes, so I think I'll catch that one. Hello. Hello. I'm just returning the card.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye.
I made it to Sète, a French coastal town just outside Montpellier, the 7th biggest city in France.
But I made it up to this French coastal town, which is called Sète, which was a recommendation from a Frenchman I met yesterday.
This Frenchman told me, don't go to Montpellier or Marseille. It's too big and full of crime. He really emphasized on the crime bit. Instead, he recommended me to go to Sète. As he was a Frenchman, I of course trusted him blindly. I think his ex-wife used to live there or something, but I was feeling optimistic.
But I'm just gonna check it out, get some breakfast, maybe book some accommodation, otherwise just gonna take another train further down the coast.
You might think this town looks nice though, and I imagine it might be if you live there, but from a traveling perspective it just seemed like a dead town full of noise and bad smells.
I love to travel and it's my favorite thing in the world, but it's also the most difficult thing in the world sometimes. It's just like you get to a place and then what? But this town is very noisy and it smells a lot because there's a lot of construction going on and boat working and fishing and stuff like that. So.
But seriously, listen to this clip. This is what it sounded like almost all of the time there. Even this beautiful shot. What's it like with sound on? Well, I realized later on that I might have just had too high of expectations.
I think I'm starting to develop some problems with deciding for stuff, which really isn't good. You know, when I'm trying to find somewhere to eat, I'll just look on Google Maps and then I'll be like, seems good, but there's probably something better. And this time I just ended up going to the grocery store. And I think it's the same when I'm trying to figure out where to stay. Like I get this feeling that if there's somewhere else where I would be able to have more fun, it's like, why am I even here? And I get this feeling that I should probably be somewhere else and have more fun. And it's like, so dumb.
So since returning from this trip, I've discovered that I was experiencing a concept called FOBO. FOBO is a bit like FOMO, but instead of fear of missing out, it's fear of better options. It's a fear of hesitation from trying to make a decision based on a belief that there is at least one better option out there waiting to be found.
I guess it's just that when I'm just traveling for 2 weeks, I just want to make the best of my time here, and I kind of feel like I'm wasting my time when I'm not making the absolute very best of my time.
In my head, I had made up an unrealistic, picture-perfect idea of what I wanted to experience, but this just made it so much harder trying to decide for stuff. I was also still riding the high of experiencing Barcelona and Carcassonne.
When I was in Barcelona and in Carcassonne, there was just so many things to do and see, so it was kind of easy, but yeah, it's just difficult finding those places.
At the time I didn't know about FOBO, but I still knew I had to take it very slow and just try to relax and be content with whatever was gonna come my way.
But I'm going to a city called Avignon. I think it's pronounced like that. I have no idea, but I hope that's good. But I don't think it's good that I feel this way about traveling right now. I don't know, hopefully it gets better.
On the train, I read a little about travel burnout, and spirits were really at a low. It was feeling difficult filming myself on camera, but I want to document both the ups and downs of my journeys.
So on that train ride, I think I realized that I might be going in and out of some kind of burnout from traveling. Also just when I'm home, I'm always busy working, and when I finally have time off, I travel quite intensely all the time. So maybe I just have to relax a bit. I don't know.
Luckily, spirits wouldn't be low for long though.
But the good news is that I made it to this, don't know how to pronounce it, Avignon.
I sat down at a cozy cafe and got some cake and coffee. I started making my way towards the outskirts of town where I had booked a bed and breakfast. I walked under the city wall and crossed an underground river, or maybe sewer, I don't know.
I think I just got out of the old part of the town. This town is kind of growing on me. It's a little bit colder here, but that's fine. I think I'm almost here. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, you're making the reason for the key?
Yeah.
Take me to the jungle. Teach me tiger love.
This is perfect. Just a tiny little room. Yeah, this is such a lovely place. I'm just gonna go fully relax mode. Alright, so when I came here to this bed and breakfast, I met another guest called Shell from India. I don't really like to point a camera in the face of strangers I meet, but on this occasion it wouldn't have made a lot of sense anyway. Just after arriving at this bed and breakfast, I met another guest who was in his late 20s and living illegally in France. His name was Shell, originally from India, where he grew up in the slums of Delhi, but made his way up the ranks and eventually got the chance to move to the US, where he got his citizenship. In the US he had worked in construction, but in the end that too wasn't bearable. So he got a temporary German work visa, but it had expired a few years ago, but still he hadn't left Europe. Instead he had moved to France, where he said the police wouldn't ask for papers if they stopped him in his car. Unfortunately, it was clear that he had a very dark worldview and suffered from a lot of traumas from growing up in the slums of Delhi. He told me his life story and his experience of living in both the US and India, in contrast to the privileged life I've been living for the past 18 years, growing up in a rich country, one that's among the happiest in the world and with a great welfare system. I guess this is one of the reasons why I love traveling. You never know who you'll meet tomorrow, and you'll get to hear people's stories from all over the world. In this instance, the guy immediately just opened up to me about staying illegally in the country and his life story and traumas. We talked about such intense and deep stuff for hours, ending off saying goodnight before likely never seeing each other ever again. But I am going to bed now. It's a little past midnight now, so yeah, good night.
And that's the end of the episode. A week from now, the next episode will be released. I hope you'll join me as I bike around exploring Avignon and get guided by Google Maps to bike down a highway trying to make it to the train station in time before I ultimately miss the train and desperately try to make it to my destination before the last train of the night leaves the station. If episode 3 is already up by the time you're watching this, then it'll be on the screen now, but otherwise it'll be up on next Thursday. You can check out the other episodes in the meantime. See you there.
Alright, I know this sounds a bit weird, but I'm currently in Vega, Latvia on the National Day. Look at Vega. Amazing.